So the second one is warrior.
Well, second one would be warrior. The warrior, they talk about. I mean, that is the one that is in today's society very suppressed in a way by men because of different movements that have been happening that had made men step back. Because today is hard for a man maybe to express his true feelings without being, in a way, judged or like said, hey, that's toxic. You shouldn't be this way. And that's why it's really crazy, but in these men's circles, that's the favorite topic people like to talk about because they want to let it out somewhere. Because when they let it out somewhere else, the people are like, oh, this is toxic or this is bad, and no, you should calm yourself down and this, no, but that's the thing. Like, the king is a calm energy, but the warrior is a fiery energy, the go-getter, the one that goes into battle, and a man needs that. You cannot suppress that energy. And that's how kingdoms were built, with warriors, that were there also. And that's how anything was built, like in a sense, like you need that fiery doer energy that goes and get it. And sometimes you need that to be like, like for me, we talked about my last podcast how I make music. And one of the things in that is like I like to be competitive when I make music, because it's, for me, a competitive thing, like, but it's not personally against anyone, but it's a sport, it's an art that I do that I like to be competitive in, and that's where the warrior energy comes out for me. When I step on the mic, it's a warrior energy usually. Of course the lover comes into, and like all these things, but I like to go into the warrior because it gives me the feeling of, I don't know, going into battle in a way. And I think every man needs that way, some way of putting that out there, because that also belongs to this archetype. It's not just king, magician, and lover. The warrior is also there, and that is something that we have inside of us. And the warrior, in like modern ways to view it, would be like disciplined, like for example, and like you serve a high order. Like you have to know who you're serving, or like it's always about serving people or serving whatever, because it's never about you. That's what we have to like understand in these archetypes. It's never you being the warrior. You're channeling this in that moment to do it, and to do whatever needs to be done in that moment. And the warrior is the one that, if you set, for example, that is the one that is doing my semen retention, being able to get up in the morning and work out. Like I set myself things and I'm also executing on these things. And that is the warrior.
Yeah, discipline is a big word here, I think. Yeah.
Exactly. And also understanding, like when you have a big mission, right? As a man, maybe you have a mission to like, I'm doing these men's circles and I have like other bigger visions that I would like to do. And every man has like his vision or mission, whatever that is. And that should be his highest purpose in his life, that mission and nothing else. And as a warrior, you need to learn to get rid of your emotions. And that is one of the things. You're emotionally detached to everything else to be able to go into that, but in a healthy way. What I mean by that, like the shadow parts is, for example, what we see in war and everything. The warrior, that it goes into war. And that's one of the things, like the shadow parts made people suppress this energy, because the shadow parts was there and it showed how brutal it is. Like what happened in genocides and wars and everything around the world is also the warrior energy, but it's a shadow. It's very cruel, and very hurtful, and also no emotions. But this way, what I mean by no emotion is like knowing that what you're doing is not because it's emotionally triggered. Anything like the action you do, what you're like, let's say you're building a business and now your competitor is doing something, you shouldn't go emotionally, because he's doing it, I want to do the same thing, or like I want to beat him, so let me just go. That's emotionally, always keeping in your back of the head that what is your mission? My mission is to do this. So even if this guy's doing this, I'm following my mission.
It's like knowing your goal and going for it, taking action and being like disciplinary about it.
Yeah.
Not
Definitely.
like following your emotions or going here and there and I don't know, like losing your focus.
And also not being distracted by, for example, the people in your life. Be it parents, your spouse, girlfriend, friends, like emotionally. like knowing what that's your mission and nobody else has to understand.